Welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you joining me today. We're going to do something truly foundational here. We are peeling back all those layers of complex software architecture, looking past the buzzwords and the trendy new frameworks to reveal the actual structural bedrock beneath it all. And interestingly enough, this bedrock, it wasn't poured yesterday. We actually have to jump in the time machine and go way back to the 1970s to the pioneering work of Larry Constantine and Ed Yourdon. The structural integrity of your code today still almost entirely depends on their dual concepts of cohesion and coupling. Honestly, most of what's been added since then is really just refinement. Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever sat down at your computer, coffee in hand, ready to make a quote-unquote small change to your codebase, only to find yourself completely spiraling? I mean, you update one little function, right? Which somehow breaks a class, which then requires updating an interface, and suddenly you're editing 7 different files just to update one tiny feature. It's a universal developer frustration. It's often called the ripple effect or shotgun surgery. But having a real vocabulary to understand exactly why this happens requires us to look back at those 1970s structural principles. Cohesion and coupling. Literally, almost every complex architectural acronym you will ever encounter in software engineering boils down to these two foundational levers. It's like a giant puzzle. Cohesion is all about things belonging together. Coupling is about what you drag along with you. And the key takeaway here is that these aren't just binary switches. They're actually spectrums or ladders that we can use to evaluate the internal strength of our modules versus the external dependencies between them. Let's look at cohesion first. Think of this as a ladder measuring the degree to which elements within a single module truly belong together. Kinda like roommates sharing a single room. At the very bottom rung of this ladder, you have coincidental cohesion. That's just random utilities thrown into a file together. Moving up the ladder, you find sequential and communicational cohesion, where elements actually operate on the same data or feed into each other. And then at the very top is functional cohesion, where every single part of a module perfectly contributes to one single well-defined task. On the other side, we have the coupling spectrum. So the crucial point is that this measures the connectivity among different things in your codebase. Basically, how much baggage do you drag along when you change a piece of code? This spectrum ranges from content coupling at the absolute worst, which is where one module directly modifies another's internal workings, yikes, all the way down to data coupling at the best, where modules are entirely independent and only pass the necessary data back and forth. Section 1, underpinning the solid principles. Now, you might be thinking, hey, I already know how to write good code. I use the solid principles. But here is a fascinating historical and structural truth. Low coupling, high cohesion is actually more fundamental than solid. In fact, every single solid principle can be completely re-derived from Constantine and Yourdon's original scales, and this brilliantly illustrates that. Take the single responsibility principle. It dictates a class should have one reason to change. That is simply a modern mandate for high cohesion. The dependency inversion principle tells us to rely on abstractions. Well, that is literally just a technique for achieving loose, data-level coupling. But we have to be careful not to fall into dogma here. A 2018 empirical study that evaluated the effects of solid principles on code-based metrics concluded with this absolutely fantastic quote: "Do not aim to attain solid. Use solid to attain maintainability. Solid design principles are just principles, not rules." The empirical evidence confirms that, sure, while applying these principles reduces coupling and increases cohesion, applying them blindly without measuring the real-world impact, that can lead to some pretty undesirable consequences. Section 2, the false abstraction trap. And that brings us to a very real danger. When developers misunderstand that cohesion ladder we talked about, they often fall into the false abstraction trap. It's super common to assume that because functional cohesion is at the very top of the ladder, absolutely everything must be pushed to that maximum level. But pushing every single module to pure functional cohesion actually produces massive fragmentation. You end up with a codebase fractured into tiny, unintelligible pieces, creating this giant ball of wires. You get abstractions where the API is literally more complex than the implementation it's supposedly hiding, and that creates a massive cognitive load just to understand totally simple state transformations. A contributor on Reddit's programming community actually summed up the solution to this perfectly, and I love this. Date abstractions, don't marry them. Your abstractions should be small, they should be composable, and crucially, they should be easily removable if requirements change or if, you realized you forecasted the future incorrectly. Because let's face it, if developers were perfect at forecasting the future, we'd all be playing golf with Warren Buffett right now, instead of untangling fragmented architecture. Section 3, Properties over Strict Principles, the CUPID framework. Because of this fatigue with rigid rules that sometimes actually make code harder to read, Daniel Thorst North proposed the CUPID framework. And what's brilliant here is exactly how it resolves our cohesion nuance. Properties like composable, predictable, and idiomatic focus on the end result of the code. But specifically, look at domain-based. When code perfectly mirrors the problem domain, it naturally lands you in communicational or sequential cohesion. And guess what? That is actually the pragmatic sweet spot for most domain code, not pure, fragmented functional cohesion. CUPID guides us organically to the right rung on the ladder without all the rigid dogma. At the end of the day, whether you lean heavily on the classic solid principles or you prefer the property-driven approach of CUPID, the ultimate metric of success is exactly the same. The goal is to create what Dan North calls joyful and habitable software. It's all about making the code base intelligible, predictable, and manageable for the next developer who has to touch it, which, let's be completely honest with ourselves, is probably going to be you in 6 months. Section 4. 2 essential diagnostic questions. So, how do we actually practically diagnose a real code base by placing its modules on both of these scales? Well, you can start with cohesion. Look at a class, a module, or a package, and just ask, do these things truly belong together? Let's say you have a Utils package that is basically just a dumping ground for completely unrelated helper functions. Using our ladder, that is the literal definition of coincidental cohesion. It's sitting at the absolute bottom. They don't belong together, and frankly, it's a structural red flag. Next, you evaluate coupling by asking, how much do I drag along when I move this? If you try to extract a feature from that exact same Utils package we just talked about and you find you're accidentally dragging along database configurations and external services, that is common coupling, the worst of both worlds. By asking these foundational questions, you cut right through the modern noise. Cohesion answers, do these things belong together? Coupling answers, how much do I drag along when I move this? Remember, every other principle out there is just a special case of those two questions.